Greetings, one and all, from the actually white mountains of Arizona. We got a little bit of a dump, and it's transformed this place into a winter wonderland, but it's quickly melting in this beautiful sun. Where is it? There it is. Where can I find the sun? I can't see the screen. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about weapons. Might sound weird, but we want to get some more information on weapons. I may have shared this story before, but recently I had an eye-opening experience about weapons. We like to hike around here. We're actually way over there, and we were on a hike, and we got attacked by two dogs, and they were vicious, but they're also a little scared, and they wanted to bite. And the first dog charged me, and he got chickened out. Second dog charged me to bite me, and I had my gun in my hand. The last thing I wanted to do was shoot the dog. I wasn't going to shoot the dog, but something happened. Is the dog sensed that I had no fear. The dog could feel it, and I had no fear because of the gun. I didn't have to shoot the gun at all. I had the gun. That made me have no fear, and it made the dog back off. So it made me think that, weapons have an energy. The energy of the gun saved me from getting bitten, essentially. If I didn't have that gun, I would have been oozing fear, and the dog would have felt like I was a target, and it would have attacked. It did attack. It would have bit. So there's something more to weapons than meets the eye, is what I'm thinking. So we want to get some more information on the nature of weapons. Okay, I'm trapped. The energy that they hold and what they can do for us, how they hurt us or harm us. I mean, that's a little bit self-evident, but are there weapons in other dimensions? We're going to find out. Here's Tara. I don't know who she's going to connect to. It's always a surprise. Not always. Sometimes we connect with intention, but this time we're just going to see who's best suited to answer these questions. All right, she needs more time. Let's check out the scenery. Gorgeous, huh? This is after one day of melting. All right, who are you connected to?
A Lyran.
My favorite. Have we connected with this Lyran before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Welcome back. And thank you for helping us figure things out. Today we want to talk about weaponry. I was telling the people a story about how the energy of a gun saved me from a dog attack. Was I right in that assessment?
Yes, if everything is energy, then of course weapons also hold an energy.
Okay. So, I got so many questions. I don't know where to start. So the energy of my... Say again?
At the beginning, of course.
Okay. Where did weapons come from?
Originally created from a fear of the unknown, a fear of the darkness. It was, in your incarnation, a time when people were just discovering their own consciousness, and in doing so were vulnerable to outside influences. And so if the outside influences were to project fear onto primitive human, the primitive human wanted a way to be able to defend itself because it was still yet unaware of its own power.
So the human consciousness developed weaponry out of a response to the Matrix control program?
Yes, if we go back to the very beginnings and know you were not born out of a soup or a stew, but in the best explanation, a laboratory. Of course, not all of you. But once activated, let's say you had little beings without consciousness quite yet. So more like a doll. Dolls placed on Earth, then injected with a consciousness and also programmed with the matrix. And once activated and aware, Of course, the surroundings being quite foreign, still understanding who they are, where they are, what is this, who am I? There was a lot of fear that came from that. Not a fear of not understanding oneself, but a fear that was downloaded from the Matrix program. This program is quite intense. And so, from this fear, wanting to defend oneself from an unknown assailant, they created weapons as an extension of themselves. Because not yet understanding themselves, they didn't understand that they had the power to eliminate that fear and know the fear was not an external source, but something within a program.
Is it fair to say that weapons were born out of a negative polarity energy, negative as we see it,
As you see it, yes.
but they have positive polarity energy?
Of course. With your existence as it is now, many are still not quite aware of the power that you wield. You are not just some experiment. You are a full bodied consciousness. You are a soul. You are part of Source as I am Source. And once you realize that this reality is just a shell of some mega force that is within it, then you will continue to utilize tools and things outside of yourself to represent what is on the inside, which is quite all right for now until you do wake up and realize how to use that power for your protection, for your elevation, and for your awakening.
Okay, can I say that the best weapon is not resonating with things that can harm you?
Of course, if you understand, as been repeated many times, that all is one. If you fear an animal or another human or doing harm upon you, really you're afraid of that aspect of yourself doing harm upon yourself. And going inwards, becoming aligned with this and understanding why you would fear a bear, let's say, or a human coming to attack you. Why is this? Where is this coming from? Perhaps it stems more from, instead of your childhood, then going backwards into the matrix creation. Perhaps not its origins as humans and reptilians. We're not quite here yet, but far enough back to the creation of human being.
Did I attract that dog attack to learn about a new aspect of the gun?
Yes, it was an aspect of your energy. Let's say next time you are put into the exact same scenario, and now you know what it's like to resonate in that frequency of not having fear, having compassion, but also seeing yourself within that dog and understanding I do not wish to harm myself, just as I do not wish to harm this being, which is also myself. And you can do this without the gun next time. Humanity is close, very close.
So that dog is me, but it's also got its own ego. And what if it doesn't agree that I don't need to be attacked?
Everything has to be in some sort of agreement at some level. Perhaps this might be hard for humans to understand, especially when it comes to young lives. Let's say a young life was lost at the hands of another, but somehow that young life was in agreement that their life would be taken by this other. Of course, there is alternative timelines in which their life is not taken, but in the timeline that you resonate in, their life was taken. And in this instance, you are meant to learn something. They are giving you a gift, as well as you might call them a madman, as well as the madman, trying to show you something, that you are both the child and the madman. And why am I resonating within this particular timeline? What is this timeline trying to show me? Please do not allow their removal from this existence to be in vain.
Okay. There's a big debate in the United States over gun control, whether we should have them, not have them, regulate them. Uh, Clearly, it's in the collective consciousness to remove guns in some way. Where is this coming from?
It's an undecidedness of your own power. It's the fear program. Some people will want to possess the gun or the weaponry because of an unknown outside force. Something is coming to get me. I don't know what that is, but I must be prepared. There's also the other side. I do not want this weaponry around me because it will come and get me. I don't know who it might be or what it is, but they're coming for me. You are both in the exact same space, both parties, both the same kind of fear, except it's being represented in two different perspectives, two different worlds. Does that not sound familiar? Two worlds split, but it has nothing to do with polar opposites. It's just an opposite point of view, but the exact same energy.
Okay. Maybe this is unfounded. Maybe you can tell me. But to me, weapons represent freedom. When I carry a weapon, I have less fear of the outside world. I'm more free to do what I want to do. I don't have to worry about my ego creating something that I can't handle. So I feel as though it's just freedom from government, freedom from danger, freedom from just freedom.
Of course, there is that perspective that if I keep an external force on me that I know that can protect my fragile human vessel, I feel confident, I feel safe. And of course, that's a wonderful energy to be in. And eventually, hopefully, you will all get to the energy of I am confident and I am safe because the quote unquote weapon is me.
Okay. And my weapon is to attract only things of my highest good.
Of course, what you are actually trying to do is not to learn more about weapons, but understanding your own power and trying to get yourself into that frequency and that energy that I am safe wherever I go and that I do not resonate with things that wish to harm me, my vessel, or my energy. And so you are doing this through weapons, and this is fine. However, people are trying to learn more about themselves through external devices is, of course, okay.
Okay, so they're a permission slip to come into your own power.
Exactly.
Why do some people, fear them so vehemently?
Because they have been taught to fear themselves. Perhaps they do not know themselves that well. Perhaps they fear their own mind. They fear their own intuition. They fear the goings ons on the inside, the things that cannot be explained. You might say they're afraid of their own spirit because they have been taught that the vessel is all there is, and everything that you see with your eyes and hear with your ears is all there is. So to feel stirrings that has nothing to do with the human vessel and everything to do with your spirit would cause them to panic in some way. So not understanding the energy surrounding a weapon would also cause them to panic, for they do not know their own power.
Wow. Okay, so do I have this straight? From low vibration to high vibration, it starts with fearing weapons, then feeling you need weapons to protect yourself from outside sources, then needing weapons to feel free, to not needing weapons.
On the nose.
Excellent. So I'm in stage 3, personally.
Even the reason I am here, let us backtrack,
Yes.
is because even when we had a home, all the Lyrans, we also had weapons at a time, a feeling of a need to protect ourselves. There is a misconception that if we are all just nice to each other and we are all just trying not to hurt each other's feelings, trying not to bump into a fellow, I'll just keep calling us Lyrans, a fellow Lyran, trying not to bump into them, trying not to hurt their feelings, trying not to disrespect them in some way. This is somehow a fear state, and this is where we were, trying to be so nice to one another. The term nice really was, I want to appease you because I fear what you will do to me if you are angry. And from this niceties, things like that don't last. Eventually, some became irritated. Why should I always care about how you are feeling? Can't I care about how I am feeling? There was no sovereignty. Once sovereignty became a thing, then weaponry came around because we wanted to develop our sovereignty, to understand this. And so, yes, it started out for us, as it started out for you, in a fear state. I want to be my own person, and if you don't like it, you might attack me, therefore I must arm myself. To eventually, I'm arming myself because I like the energy that I am in when I am armed. To, we no longer need these arms, for we are powerful as we are. We are sovereign, and I will be me, just as I hope that you will be you.
And you're in 5D?
Correct.
And a weapon was used to destroy your planet?
Correct.
So there's weapons in every dimension?
In essence, they may not be as you see them. Some are externalized, some are internalized. But yes, simplified, yes.
And it's not always the lower polarity in our perspective carrying these weapons?
Exactly. In some of your movies, your movie you are watching, your Lord of the Rings, there is a good side and a bad side, so to speak. But yet, aren't they both armed? This would make, in some view, in your today's society, make both sides bad, where in other people's views, both sides would be good. But it's not quite as polarizing as that. Weaponry is an energy. Understand its energy. Don't fear that energy. Everything, even non-living things, are energy. Therefore, the gun is you. Your spears are you. Your knives are you. And if you're fearing them, then what aspect of you are you fearing within yourself?
Even Gandalf needed a staff with a crystal on it.
And in there, that is programming.
Right.
That he needed some external force when really the power was within him all along.
They've always got to throw in something to take us off our path, don't they?
Of course, but this makes it fun. It's a puzzle, trying to understand all the puzzles.
What advice can you give to the human collective consciousness about weapons? How can we grow from this point?
First, you have to understand that you are all various different souls, various different perspectives, and different stages of growth. So, the human race as a whole is never going to agree on one decision to either have weapons or not have weapons. That is the surface level, the disagreements, the squabbles over what you should and should not have. What's happening at a deeper level is you are starting to grow and understand your sovereignty and your power. You are where we were many eons ago. And so the more you find debate and rebel rousing, I like that, rebel rousing,
Okay.
within weapons and this who can and cannot have them, the greater it becomes that means the greater the growth is happening beneath it. People are really trying to understand, what does the gun represent? Why do I fear it so? Or why do I feel that I need it so? Because you are elevating. So it is not that things are turning into chaos and that the division is becoming great. It's that the division between the ego and the soul of each human is becoming great.
Wow, I can't thank you enough for coming here and sharing all your wisdom with us. I really do appreciate it. I love talking with you. I love you. Do you have any last message for the people?
I hope that whoever comes across this, of course, the energy goes out. People do not need to visually see this. But I want you to ask yourself your immediate response to what you heard. I want you to think on it. How did you feel? What were some of the beliefs that came up for you? I want you to figure out where these beliefs were coming from. Why was your reaction strong or not so strong? Why was it one way or the other? Or perhaps you were neutral. These are all things to look into for growth. I will tell you that weapons are nothing to fear, but they do represent something. So please look into it.
All right. The sky is falling. The trees are leaking. Like all around us, the trees are just leaking.
Oh my goodness.
It's,
Hey
oh, there they go. It's kind of fun. And then we had the little birdies come and see what we were doing.
Oh.
He just tweeted in your ear. It's like, what are you up to?
They're like, we heard there's a cat around.
Yeah. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. I think that was easier to remember because I've channeled him before.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was fascinating. It kind of like things that were in the back of my mind, it brought them to the front, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And
I can't say I knew what he was. I can't say I knew that the energy of the gun, like, I was ready. I'm almost ready to make the next step, and I could feel it, but I didn't know it consciously. And then he kind of said it.
Yeah. I feel like for me personally, I'm at that stage of I still feel like I need that external protection.
Yeah.
I want to get to this stage where I know that I'm the protection, like I am, the power. But yeah, I think I'm just the level below. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Man, I wish like more people could watch this because it's such a powerful message. Like everyone's arguing. This Lyran just explained it in black and white.
Yeah.
But the people who want to argue about this will never see this video.
Yeah. I mean, some of my friends and family aren't going to see this, and they're the ones arguing.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you have a gun? Oh, that's so dangerous. And some people are, oh my God, that's so
There'll be
awesome.
A lot of people who won't even click on this because it says weapons in the title.
Exactly.
So what does that tell you about where we're at?
Well,
as a species?
Lyran dude, whatever his name is, was like, at least the energy's out there, even if they don't even see it. Like just, it's going out in the collective, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to keep putting it out there every Monday morning. That's what we do. These channelings are for you. Sure, we're doing it for you, but we're doing it for ourselves. These are our questions that we want to know. So we really do appreciate you tuning in every Monday morning. Yeah,
and we'd appreciate feedback, comments. What were your thoughts on this? What would you think about what the Lyran said, about what we said? Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. We love engaging in discussion. So.
Okay, we're going long. We got to go.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.